All right, Roland MMA, welcome back to the channel. Now, about a day ago, Belal Muhammad did an interview with internet celebrity slash influencer slash grifter, professional grifter at that, Sneako, okay? And that is the absolute best way you could possibly describe him, is a professional grifter. Now, in this hour-long interview, the vast majority of the time was spent talking about Belal Muhammad being a Muslim and also being a fighter and stuff like that, okay? And the reason for that is because Belal Muhammad's got exactly zero personality, and that's about all he has going for him, and he's trying real hard to grasp a hold of that Muslim fan base that guys like Khabib and Islam Makhachev benefited from, okay? Now, within this hour, Belal Muhammad got asked about Sean Strickland a couple of times. Now, the first time he tried to just breeze past it, and look at, dude, there are legitimate criticisms you could make of Sean Strickland, some of the things that he says and whatever, right? But Belal Muhammad, once it gets brought up again, has an insane insult that he levies Sean Strickland's way, and in my opinion shows that he either lacks complete and total self-awareness or he actually deep down feels this way about his own brothers in Khabib and Islam. Now, if you know about Belal Muhammad, his training camp, who he trains with, and things like that, you will know that he has started to spend quite a bit of time with Khabib Nurmagomedov, Islam Makhachev, and these guys for at the very least part of his training camp, right? Like, I think it was ever since he fought Sean Brady the first time, or when he fought Sean Brady, that was the first time he had Khabib in his corner and did a camp with them. And now he continues to go back there, at the very least for part of his training camp, okay? If you know about Khabib Nurmagomedov, you will obviously know that he was Muslim, okay? You will also know, most likely, that he married a distant relative. Guys, chill. I'm not trying to poke fun at him or anything like that. I'm not making a value judgment. I am simply stating facts. He married a distant cousin, quote unquote. Okay, now this is completely and totally permissible in their culture, in their religion. You could actually, as a matter of fact, marry a first cousin, okay? And that's perfectly fine in the eyes of Allah, okay? Okay, so knowing that, what Belal Muhammad says about Sean Strickland blows me away because, as I said, either zero self-awareness or deep down, he actually has a disdain for some of the guys that he trains with and talks so highly about, because a massive part of this interview was spent big up and complimenting and whatever Khabib and Islam and guys like this, which is fine, dude. Obviously, he's very complimentary of them. I'm not, that's not meant in a derogatory way. I'm just saying he was glazing them for the better part of an hour. Now, either those things or Belal Muhammad is truly, truly much more Americanized than he wishes he was, okay? And he can't get these thoughts and insults and stuff out of his head, and it's fucking hilarious to me, okay? So I'm going to play that clip for you, and then we will talk a little bit about that. But first, I just want to point out that Sneako, okay, who he did this interview with, some of the criticisms he had for Sean Strickland were also absolutely ridiculous. I'm not going to bother playing those, but I just want to point out that Sneako called Sean Strickland surface level. He said that all of his takes are surface level. They're takes that were maybe edgy 10 years ago and, could have been funny or whatever, but not that much depth to them, which I thought in some cases is absolutely true, but it's fucking rich coming from him, okay? This guy might be the most surface level Muslim on planet Earth, okay? That's a fact if you go look into things that he does in his spare time. Also, every other take he has about almost everything, he can only scratch the surface on, and if he gets a little bit of pushback, he folds, which is why we ended up having him say pretty recently, as a matter of fact, that the age of consent should just be when it's matured, right? Because he is a Muslim, so he's got to try and navigate his way through those muddy waters, all right, which I thought was insane to me. But either way, I want to play this insult that Belal Muhammad levied at Sean Strickland, and we will talk a little bit about it after that. So I'm going to press play right now.
And if he could watch those videos and see that and still have that same stupid mentality, then he's just dead in the heart.
Okay, so right now we're talking about, a conflict going on the other side of the world that I don't want to talk about. I don't want to get into. I'm not even going to name it, okay? But if you've been following Sean Strickland or Belal Muhammad on Twitter, you will know which side of the fence they land on, okay? So he's saying that if Sean Strickland can watch the videos that he's been posting, then he's heartless, essentially. But here is the follow-up. This is what blew me away. And by the way, this was the most interesting part of this entire interview. Belal Muhammad damn near put me to fucking sleep, okay? During this interview, it was unbelievably boring. And, that should be the method he goes in there and tries to work Leon Edwards with, is just bore him to fucking sleep, because Belal Muhammad seems to think he's going to knock him out, which he states in this interview. But either way, we'll continue.
but he's born to inbred parents, and he's a moron that was raised like an idiot. So he
First of all, Belal Muhammad, this guy needs to come up with some better insults because he sounds like a fucking third grader. Oh, the big stupid idiot. He's a big stupid idiot. He's a moron idiot, okay? That's one thing. Two, though, bro, he goes after Sean Strickland and says that the reason he is the way that he is, the reason he says the dumb shit that he says, the reason he's so heartless is because he was born to inbred parents. Now, I would ask Belal Muhammad, do you feel that same way about Khabib Nurmagomedov's children? Why did you just throw your Muslim brothers under the bus and shat on people who have inbred parents? Okay, listen, dude, I know that the United States of America, certain parts of it at the very least, get a bad rap. The whole inbred thing kind of gets attached to them for whatever reason, right? Now, Kentucky, bro, I'll tell you this much, okay? Any of those states that you've got in mind right now when I bring that kind of stuff up, Alabama, whatever, don't hold a fuck, they can't even hold a flame to the Middle East, okay? Look up on your computer right now. Everybody believe in Google, don't they? Go to Google, look up which countries have the highest rate of incest and inbreeding, and you will see that it is the part of the world that Belal Muhammad's ancestors come from, of course, because he's from fucking Chicago, okay? But I just found this to be a very odd choice of words, especially when you're talking to a massive Muslim audience in Sneako's audience, okay? Whether or not they're LARPing, grifting Muslims or they're true ones. But also, you're talking about, for the vast majority of this interview, a guy who married a relative, had children with them, and he is like your Lord and Savior, the way that you talk about Khabib Nurmagomedov, which is fine, by the way. Khabib's, you can talk about him however you want to, but to then go and shit on people with inbred parents, okay, just shows me that Belal Muhammad, as I said, either lacks complete and total self-awareness, or actually has deep down disdain for these guys that he trains with, and he's just trying to steal their audience, okay? Or he's just so much more Americanized than he wishes he was, and he can't get these kind of insults, these kind of tropes out of his head, and it shows when he's talking about anybody that does not share his faith, okay? Okay. They also went on to say a couple, UFC fans are basically drunk white guys, okay? And shit like that, as if, whatever, dude. Bit shit, right? Sneako likes to pretend like he's all anti-woke and shit like that, but then he'll go and push the idea that Belal Muhammad wasn't given a title shot simply because he's Muslim, all right? As if some of the biggest stars in the UFC haven't been Muslim, right? It's odd to me. In my opinion, dude, guys like Sneako give this religion a bad name. Not that it needs much fucking help doing that, okay? Not to mention the kid, you know what I mean? Dude, the kid shit, obviously. But Jesus Christ, bro. Your religion is literally permissible to inbreed, and then you're gonna go and shit on a guy who doesn't actually have inbred parents, but use that as an attack, right? A negative, as to prove why he is the way that he is. Fucking crazy, dude. Anyways, okay, just wanted to point this out for you because, yes, dude, in an hour-long interview, this was actually the most interesting part of it, point blank, period. And that's that, all right, dude? Like and subscribe. I would greatly appreciate it. I will see you at the next video. Bye-bye.